Good morning, students. Welcome to Learning Management System. So now we are going to discuss about the poem "The Bells," written by Edgar Allan Poe, semester 4, BSc, session number 12. In this poem, we are going stanza explanation, summary, conclusion as well. And poem "The Bells." Here, the bells are written by Edgar Allan Poe. Summary of the poem: the silver bells of the sleds are merry and keep time in the winter nights while the sky twinkles happily. The golden source of the so here we have four segments, four parts, and four stages of life. The silver bells, the sleds are merry and keep time in the winter nights while the sky twinkles happily. The golden bells of weddings are delightful in their peaceful happiness, foretelling Archer's future. While the brazen alarm bells scream frightfully in the night with a discordant and desperate sound. The last one, the glamour, these bells convey terror and the anger. And finally, the iron bells are a sermon, a melancholy, while those in church steeple are like ghouls who feel happiness. So, whereas in reverse, the ghouls, the night keepers, they feel happy when the men are suffering. Suffering. The king of the ghouls who rings the bells cheerfully keeps time with the morning and the groaning bells. It sounds as the moaning and the grounding, the pain, it shows the pain. Here the sledges with the bells, silver bells, what a world of merriment, the melody foretells how they strike. Tinkle, tinkle in the icy air of night, the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystal blind delight. Keep time, time, time in a sort of ironic rhyme to the tintinnabulation that go musically wells from the bells, 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 bells. Just you should. So hereinafter, I am not going to read the poem. Poems are given. I am going through this stanza-wise explanations. Just read aloud in the room, in the home. That's makes a lot of difference. As well as if it is fortune, if you are fortunate enough, you'll engage the classes. Ask voluntarily to read that poem. It's a beautiful poem. Here, stanza wise lines one. Poet introduces the first of the four bells, silver sleigh bells. These sleigh bells are associated with the happy mood. A description of the bells as a silver supplies a visual image uh, and also an association with the idea of value. Alliteration of W in what and world and of M in merriment and melody add to the pleasing sound of these first lines. Lines 4 to 8, the use of the word tinkle is the first occurrence of onomatopoeia. That sounds like what it means. Onomatopoeia is a kind of writing style where tinkle, just as it sounds, the sound is also like a tinkle. If you bang your finger on a silver box or whatever the metal, you will get that tinkling sound, the tinkle sound as well as the sound itself. Tinkle, the word tinkle as well as the sound both matches together. That's why we call it as onomatopoeia. The setting of night time allows for a parallel between the sound of bells and twinkling of the stars above, and for the pleasing effect of the double rhythm rhyme. Tinkle over sprinkle, the tinkle, twinkle, crystalline, which also provides a very sharp image of the stars. Lines 9 to 10. Repetition of the word time which receives stress every time it is used here, adds excitement to the rhythm. Lines lines 12 to 14. Here is the first of silver times. The poem repeats the word bells in succession. This repetition makes the poem memorable, and as the intensity of the repetition increases, the poem becomes increasingly exciting to hear. Lines. The here we have the lines, the original poem's lines, and continued 15 to 17. In the beginning of the second stanza, Poe introduces his second topic, the golden wedding. The first one is silver. Just to keep it in your mind, that first one is silver. It represents the birth, birth, and the twinkling, where the tinkles find the twinkling of the stars. Totally colorful, the whitish, sweetish, everything. But in this saga, we are going to discuss with the golden wedding bells. The first one represents the birth, and the second one is the second stage of life, youthfulness, and is marrying. Likewise, the golden wedding bells provides a visual image and an association with a thing of value, breathless feeling of excitement, an appropriate association to make with the wedding. Once again, the setting is that of a night in this stanza. It is not the icy night of the sleigh bells, but a night that is balmy and mild with a soothing. No, it's icy means a kind of a deadly image. It gives a deadly image, whereas these eyes are like these nights are like the balmy. Gives what we say, gives a relief from pains. Balmy means and mild and soothing. Soothing again, relief from the pains. So these lines from 20 to 24 lines describe the sound of the golden bells and a creature who hears them. It also adds to the presentation of this listener as overly sentimental. Suggestions of highlight and emotion associated with the golden wedding bells produce a feeling of luxuriance. These lines continue to develop the luxuriance of the golden wedding bells. In lines 27 to 28, the bells are given the magical power to foretell a future of a rapture or a bliss for this wedding party. The internal repetition of bells 7 more times in the lines 34, 32 to 34. The stanza concludes with the onomatopoeic chiming of the bells. The night time setting appears again in this time. However, the night of fear and emergency, presenting the evening as a sleeping person woken suddenly by this terrible sound of alarm. Repetition of a shriek creates the sense that the situation is uncontrollable. Finally, these bells are appropriately ringing out of that room. These all lines are represented by this particular saga, where we are entered into. It shows that we are entered into the third stage of let us see, brazen bells, bronze bells. So it gives a sudden shock or sudden freezing, frenzy situation, destructive. These lines describe the frenzy and destructive fire and desperate ringing of the fire alarm bells, higher, higher, higher. The repetition here creates the sense that the fire is uncontrollable. The fire is described as having the desire to climb to high, and high that can sit next to the pale-faced moon. These lines describe the alarm bells sounds and identify their ability to announce danger. The overall effect of the bells on the setting is to produce fear. The atmosphere has been personified as a man who is shaking with fear while hearing the bells. These lines indicate that the bells communicate the intensity of the danger to the community. Changes in the loudness and rate of the alarm bells match up to the severity of the emergency, bells suggesting the dramatic urgency of the situation. In the opening lines of this final stanza, a Poe introduces the last type of bells, the iron steeple bells, and creates an image of a coarse, crude metal. These bells may be associated with primitive, basic elements of life and death. They are said to produce solemn thought and ring only in monody, a type of dirge, thus connecting them to a funeral. It represents the funeral situation. ಸಾವಿನ ಮೆರವಣಿಗೆ. These lines identify the rings of these iron bells as demonic creatures of Gaulish. These lines identify the ringers of these iron bells as demonic creatures or Gaulish semi-persons. These evil beings take pleasure in ringing the funeral knell, as represented by the phrase, the glory in so rolling on the human heart stone. This final section of the poem presents the image of the king of Ghouls who joyously rings the iron funeral bells. The parallel between the sound of the bells and the poetry, and to connect the entire poem, the repetition of the word time, which appears in two lines, a total of 6 times. The theme of life and death as subjects of time emerges. The poem concludes with other description of the bells as mourning and groaning. They are suffering at the hand of this king of ghouls who rings the bells, taking pleasure in the horror he is creating, encouraging. Here comes to an end, and have thanking you, and that's all from the desk. Thank you.